Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all doing amazing today. Today is Tuesday, which means a bonus video. So if you are new here, I do bonus videos on Tuesday that come out at 5 p.m. that just show kind of the behind the scenes of my business, little things that I'm doing around my studio. And then Fridays, I put out videos at 3 p.m. and these are Eastern Standard Time, so New York time, Atlanta time where I am. And Friday videos are me putting together a costume from start to finish and kind of taking you through that process and showing you what I'm working on for the week. So today we have a video on how I do my designing. I use a program called ProCreate on my iPad. So I'm going to take you through that. But before I do that, if you remember in my last video, I told you at the very end that I was about to go on an adventure, a little adventure. And I went on an epic adventure. So I drove down to Orlando, Florida, which is about a 6-hour drive here from Atlanta, and went to the new Universal theme park called Epic Universe. So I went during previews, went during Mother's Day weekend, but today is the 20th, and the park officially opens on the 22nd, which is this Thursday. So I went during previews where they were still trying to iron out all the kinks and everything, but we had an amazing time. We ate a lot of food, we rode a lot of rides, including a really fun roller coaster called Stardust Racers, and I did a little bit of shopping, which is one of my favorite things to do, and I bought me a Harry Potter wand. So you can buy wands in the theme parks, and they're magical because you can go up to the storefronts and do a little twisty loo of your wand and make things move or fall from the ceiling or little animals come out. It's really fun. So I bought this at the Cosime wand shop, which is, Cosime is the owner of the wand shop, and I happened to meet her. So it happened to be Mother's Day, so the park wasn't very crowded, and she happened to be standing outside her shop. And I was walking over, and she spotted me. She said, "Welcome, welcome." I said, "Well, I'm going to come buy a wand today." So I went inside, bought a wand, and then when I was done buying it, she asked me, "Which one did you buy?" And I said, "I bought the Ivy," which is this beautiful iridescent sparkliness on the handle. And she said, "Of course you did. I knew when you were walking in here that you were bold." So I guess I'm a bold wizard, but these are super fun. They also have Super Nintendo World, which is fun, and they have these little bands that you can wear and you play little games around the park, hitting the little coins and stuff and riding rides. So the park is amazing. So if you have a chance, go check it out. I'm excited to go back and check it out once it's kind of gotten some of the kinks out and it's been open for a while and they know what they're doing. But it's a beautiful park, really fun, and I can't wait for some expansion, hopefully with Wicked. So I'm putting that out in the universe that they will expand with a Wicked land in there. So I'm going to put this wand down and pick up my other wand, which is my Apple Pencil. And this helps me draw on my iPad. So I use a program called ProCreate, which you can buy in the App Store. I'm not sure the price of it, but I'm pretty sure it's just a one-time buy, and then you have it. Unless I think you get a new iPad. I'm not sure if you can transfer it or if you have to buy a new one. I'm not sure. You'll have to look into that. But I will put the price here. It's not super expensive, but it's an amazing program. Like when I did my Photoshop tutorial, I probably know 1% of this program, but I see people on the Instagram all the time using it, and they do an amazing job making this incredible art. I'm not as great, but I basically figure it out to be able to get the design across to my customer enough. Because I used to draw in black and white with just pencil, because I wasn't very good at coloring things in and getting it to look the way that I want and to keep the detail. So I used to just draw with pencil, black and white. But once I got one of these iPads, once they came out with this Apple Pencil, I don't know, I think it was 2017 or 18, I was able to start drawing and coloring things in. So I've got the iPad Pro, which is basically like the size of a sheet of paper, because I think the other iPads are much smaller. So this gives you about the size of a sheet of paper. So I'm going to take you through my process of how I do that. Oh, one other thing. You see, because I went to Epic Universe, I bought a Butterbeer t-shirt. I thought this was really pretty color combination with the kind of wine and the green and a little bit of raspberry and gold. That's beautiful. So I wanted to show that off in this video as well. All right, so I'm going to open up my program and then we will get started. All right, y'all. We've had some technical difficulties. I have tried to do this about 4 times. This is the 5th time. I was trying to do a screen recording on my iPad and it was pausing. It was doing something weird. It wasn't working correctly, which was really annoying. So I'm just going to put my tripod over my iPad and we'll draw on it, which may be better because you can actually see where I'm drawing, whereas you can't see where the actual pencil is going when I'm doing the screen cap. All right, so let's get into this. So I have my Apple Pencil. I have my iPad. Apple Pencil's great. Now, I believe they've changed it, but I know when it first came out, you could only use it on the iPad Pro, which is what I have. I like the iPad Pro because they are the biggest iPads. They have 2 different sizes, but I get the bigger size, and it's basically like a sheet of paper, which is why I like it. And then you get the iPad Pencil. Now, I believe they allow you to draw with the iPad Pencil and all the other iPads. You'll have to check that out. So if you already have an iPad, you might just need to get an iPad Pencil, and you can use this, download the ProCreate program in the App Store, and you can get to working. So to start with, I have my model body here, which she doesn't have any clothes on, so we need to put clothes on. But this is called a croquis, which is some French word, I'm guessing, that means model body. So I found this model body because I wanted something that looked actually like a person's body as much as possible. A lot of the fashion design bodies are real thin and tall and don't have a lot of space, so it's hard to kind of draw on details. I wanted something that was as close to a real body as possible that looked good. So I found this one years ago and then put a couple of different heads on them so that they would look as much like one of my customers. When I can see who they are, like if they're blonde, I can do a blonde girl. If they're brown hair, a brown girl, and different skin tones and whatnot. So this is the girl that I have today. And where we start is that we go over here to the layers, and as you can see, she's on her own layer, but we want to make a new layer. So we can make lots of different layers to draw on. And this makes it so that if I mess up on a layer, I can delete it, or if I want to change it later on when a customer says, you know what, I don't like this style line, you can go in and just go on that layer, and it's not all a flat dimension where then you're erasing everything. You're just erasing the one part on that layer, which is something that I love. I love layers. So I go here, I pick out my pencil, and I have this here, most used brushes, so I've just kind of pulled them into this most used so that I have them all in one place. But there's tons of different brushes within these little pieces, and you can also download more brushes. So with that, I'm going to start with my pencil, which is just basic, and then I pick my color. I'm going to do a raspberry for this design, but I'm going to go a little darker than the actual color just so that we can see it off of when I actually colored in. And then I'm going to just outline around the body. Now that we've got our outline, then I can decide what style I want to do. So I'm going to do a deep sweetheart. Now it's kind of hard to draw. Sorry if this doesn't look great because it's hard to draw around my tripod. But I'm going to try to do my best to make this work so that we can get this video out because I don't have anything else planned if I don't do this video. All right, so then in the back, I do an asymmetrical V. Now if you decide you're drawing something on and you don't like it, you can either erase it with the erase, or you can just push the back button and it takes it off. Or you can push the front button and it comes back. All right, so now we've got that. We want to color it in. So I'm going to go under, push plus, do another layer. And I got my medium airbrush here, which is what I like to color with. And I'm going to pick the exact color. And then I can just color in all within those lines. And if you go outside the lines, you can just use the eraser and fix it. All right, so as you can see, I've gone out of the lines just a little bit, so we can just go in and clean up any areas that need fixing. All right, Then as you can see a little bit of the back skirt. Now I'm not getting, like I said, I'm not getting a very good view of this dress because I'm not completely over it like I normally am. So please, if this looks a little funky, please bear with me. All right, so I like to go a little darker on this back. So I done another layer so then I can go kind of behind. And you can get as detailed or as not as detailed. I don't go very detailed on my designs. I'm just basically doing as a render so that the customer can see color and, you know, my design concept. But if you want to go real detailed with doing shadows and making it look realistic, you can do that. But I like to just do the basic just to get the idea across to the customer. All right, so now I'm going to have sleeves on this, and I want to do a high neck with crystals that fade off of the sleeve. So we're going to do, we did another layer there, and I'm just going to draw a little round circles to kind of make it look like crystals, and I'll fade them out. Now if I want to add a little bit more crystal detail, I can use the stipple tool, which I like, which is just basically like little dots that you can just paint with. So I'm going to go in, do it just so it gets a little more crystal scatter look to it. All right, so now we've got that. We can do any kind of design work that we want to do on the bodice. So I'm going to make another layer here. I'm going to start with Crystal AB. So I'll get my pen. I think I've decided I want to go over here and do some crystals that are a little heavier, that kind of go off the shoulder. So it's nice, you know, when, you know, if you have a customer, you send them this design and they decide, you know, can we add a little bit of this or a little bit of that or take away this, a little bit of that. It's very easy to do this when you do this in the layers. So this program is great. And there's so many people, you know, I see people on Instagram using this program and they do the most amazing art with it. So I know there's a lot more that you're able to do with it that I'm not able to do, but the sky's the limit. So you just kind of play around and you figure it out. So just see what looks good to your eye and whatever comes out of your brain. All right, so with that, I think then all we need to do is do some scattered crystals on the bodice. So I'm going to make another layer. Now when I do these scattered crystals in the color, I like to go to the lighter part of the color. And I'll use the stipple tool. And you can just go over it. Now, I think I've also decided that maybe this would look good with a little bit of airbrush on it. So I think I'm going to do a black airbrush around the edge just for some dramatic. So what you can do is you can go the layer over the color, and then you're going to go down to your airbrush. And I like to use the soft airbrush. I'm going to put it on black. And then you can see over here, you can make this is the making a brush bigger or smaller. And this is what the opacity is. So if it's transparent or if it's, you know, completely not see-through. So I just need to make this a little bigger, and then what you're going to do, just kind of color, and you're going to be coloring out of the lines when you do this airbrush. You just kind of go around the edge where you want it, like that, to kind of get a nice fade. And then you just have to go in and erase what you don't want. See, now you get your airbrush on there to give it a little more depth, and you can do that airbrush however you want. If you want to draw a design with the airbrush, you know, you can, here, I'll do a little show. Next side you want little airbrush pieces. So we have the soft brush. You want it just to be more like coming down like this. Make it a little smaller. Come down. Have little wave lines that come through. You can do that. Now, if you send that to the customer and they're like, I don't like those lines going down it, just delete that layer off. And then, voila, it's back to normal. So I think that looks pretty good. Now, this isn't for anybody particular. I was just doing this as an example. but I may throw it up on my custom collection. So if you want to check out my website, you can go to bragraphies.co and you can see all of the options that I have there. I'm going to switch you back around real quick. Put you back on me so you can see my beautiful face. All right, now you can see me again. It was really annoying that I couldn't get the screen recording to work on the iPad. I think that maybe she's getting a little old and she's running out of memory or whatever that technology is that makes it work speedy, because I think trying to draw and record at the same time, it was like, ooh, too much to compute. So that was really annoying that it wasn't working. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I had my technical difficulties and had to film it a bazillion times, and now my brain is all a jumble and a mess. But I think you got the idea of how I am doing these rendered costumes to show the customer what they're going to be getting, and so that they can make sure it's exactly what they want. Now this costume, of course, wasn't for anybody, but I think I may throw it up on my website, bragraphies.co, where I have a custom collection where you can go and choose a pre-made or pre-designed custom design. That would be your own design, because I have multiple things. So you can go on my website and you can check out the details on having a custom dress designed for you. Then I have the custom collection, which is custom designs that are already designed that you can choose, that would be your own design. And then I have made to order beaded and unbeaded dresses. So check all those out. And then also please like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Because when you do that, it kind of gets the YouTube algorithm moving and shaking to say, hey, this guy's doing some videos that people are liking, and they're commenting, and they're subscribing, and they're liking. Maybe we should let other people know about this guy. So it is very helpful to me when you do that. So please do that. And some of y'all have been really, really sweet with your comments, saying, things that kind of build my ego up and make me feel like, okay, maybe I should be doing this. Because I've kind of questioned myself a couple of times, like, this is a lot of work. Are people really wanting to see this? I know there may be a couple, but is it really worth it to be taking the time to do these videos? But then y'all leave me these wonderful, sweet comments like, Tuesdays and Fridays are my new favorite day, or thank you so much for showing me this. I was trying to figure something out and you showed me how to do it, and it was really, really helpful. So for now, I think I'm going to continue trying these videos, even though that they are a lot of work, a lot of extra work on top of what I already have to get done. But I've been kind of enjoying the creativity of doing these videos. So it kind of is something a little different than the norm. So we'll see how long they last. But please like, subscribe, comment. And then with that being said, I think we're done. But check out my video on Friday. I got a new dress video from start to finish, and then next Tuesday I do have my first two-parter, which was very unexpected, but the universe has other plans for us sometimes, and so she said, Brad, I think we need a two-parter. So your first two-parter coming next Tuesday, if all goes well. If it doesn't go well, then we'll have another video, but I'm pretty sure it will all go well, because I have it in my mind what needs to be done. All right. So with that being said, thank you for coming. I hope y'all are having a beautiful week and continue to have a beautiful week. And I will see you on Friday.